Now at 6, residents in the 4 states roll up their sleeves to support National Blood Donor Month. Plus, Kansas lawmakers meet and greet the public before heading back to the Capitol. And the city of Joplin invites the public to weigh in on upcoming public transportation projects.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities investigate a shooting today in Miami, Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. Police in Miami, Oklahoma say one person is detained and one person is dead following a shooting this afternoon. It happened in the area of 2nd Street and H Street Northwest around 3 p.m. The area had been blocked off to traffic, but authorities say there is no continued threat to the community. This is a developing story, and you can find more details as they become available on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. January is National Blood Donor Month, so a local blood bank is asking for people to give. According to the Association for Blood Donor Professionals, only 3% of Americans currently donate blood, despite 65% of the population eligible to do so. Locally, the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks needs 200 donations a day to meet the needs of more than 45 hospitals in the area. And January can be a challenging month for the organization.
You never know what the winter weather might do, and if it snows a lot of our blood drives do get canceled. So if we're having a blood drive at a school and there's no school that day, that blood drive's going to get canceled.
The value of that blood is, it's endless, whether it's a chronic disease or a car accident or whatever. It's just, there's always a need for blood.
In 2023, the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks provided more than 60,000 units of blood to area hospitals. More than 29,000 donors supported the initiative. Chloe Arroyo joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yes, well, earlier this morning we had some snowfall, and we're still seeing a little bit here and there, especially in those further western counties around the Chanute and Independence area, especially these 3 counties further to the west. Now, our road conditions are looking a little better than they did earlier today. We're pretty clear for the most part in further southeast Kansas, but a couple of our roads are a little on the wet side, so keep that in mind as our temperatures right now are above freezing, but they'll reach down into the freezing temperatures pretty soon. Here we're in the upper 30s, lower 40s as of right now. Now, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about the snow potential for Monday and Tuesday. We'll have another system a week from today, Friday, January 12th, and then a cold blast next week. I'll have all the details and more coming up.
All right, thanks, Chloe. Today, Kansas representatives had a chance to talk to the public about everything from electric rates to eminent domain before heading back to the Capitol. PSU's President Dan Shipp said the event served as a way to stress the role of teamwork. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization is seeking comments during a 7-day public comment period for amendments to the 2022-2025 Transportation Improvement Program, or TIP. The proposed TIP amendment includes 22 modified projects and 4 new projects. The public comment period for this amendment begins at 8 a.m. on Monday, January 8th. For more information, you can head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, later in sports, the Kaminsky Classic Basketball Tournament enters day 2. John has more on this Show Me State event in just a few minutes. But first, we'll meet a man who turned a story of personal tragedy into a song of personal triumph. This weekend marks the anniversary of a near-fatal accident that changed one Southeast Kansas musician's life forever. 10 years ago, on a snowy January night, Colter Steffens was forced to fight for his life. He lost both lower legs and his right hand, but what emerged was a story of unwavering resilience.
Slowly making the pace as I can.
My eyes go blind, I cannot feel my hand.
That part right there, I remember that distinctly. Like, I remember that I'm slowly rolling, slowly going, but things are just stopping working all of a sudden, and like urgency sets in.
An urgency that nearly took Colter Steffens' life. 10 years later, the memory of that fateful night almost seems like yesterday. A Southeast Kansas musician later reliving his story through lyrics in a song titled Which Way. His words set the scene for the early morning hours of January 6, 2014. It was snowing a lot, and temperatures were well below zero.
I do remember swerving into the ditch, all that, but after that I don't really remember much until I wake up and I have to start going to try to find a house.
Soaked from head to toe, Stefan set off in search of help. He walked, and when his legs gave out, crawled roughly a quarter of a mile from his car to this home. The homeowner found him curled up and frozen on his porch.
I'm just glad he showed up. If he wouldn't have showed up, I wouldn't be here. I know that much.
The accident took both of Stefan's lower legs and his right hand, but it didn't take his spirit.
I mean, you got all the cool horror movie guys all over here.
2 years into his recovery, Coulter started dating his high school crush, Shayna.
He is very driven. So no matter how far the goal is, he's going to get there regardless. Nothing's going to stand in his way.
Coulter and Shayna later married and now share 4 beautiful children.
Okay, so basically I'm using
Despite his own, Steffens has made a career of helping others with disabilities through RCIL. Steffens says the accident taught him how to be humble and how to fight through the negatives.
Of course, yeah. I feel angry a lot. It's much easier just to put that in the back of your minds, though. Anger's not going to get you anywhere.
He definitely keeps us all in the right direction.
Gene Frivoli met Steffens 6 years ago and now lays out the beats for Coulter's lyrics in Rage Is My Rival.
The cold is finally taking the pain.
I fall crawling, I just can't sustain.
Lyrics that tell a story.
His experience directly from the accident, or if it's just something else life throws at you.
And hopes for the future.
Oh, I want to play Carnegie Hall. I want an Emmy. I want to play at all the festivals and coliseums that I've dreamed of my whole life.
Coulter says he never got to personally thank the man who found him. He says he'd love to meet him and express his gratitude in person. If you want to read the complete lyrics to the song Which Way or hear more from the band, you can find links on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. A little later, local teams came up short on day one of the Kaminsky Classic. Would today prove any different? John has the answer in sports.
Plus, we're tracking even more snow. I'll have all the details coming up next.
I have type 2 diabetes. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, we're not done with snowfall yet, so if you liked what you saw this morning, we're going to see a little bit more of that heading into the rest of this week. Here's a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. A clear view right now. Earlier today, we had some snowfall onto the ground, but it didn't last very long because our temperatures went above freezing, and that soon melted pretty quickly. Here's a look at our live radar. We have a couple of bands of snow showers here and there. It looks like this line right here is beginning to ramp up and move its way off to the east. We're not going to get any accumulation heading into tonight with these snow showers. May see a couple flurries here and there. It's very light. Here's a look at the road conditions. We're really just looking into southeastern Kansas right now. Most of us are clear, but those roads in the green have that wet pavement, and it's not a concern right now, but something to keep in mind heading into tonight as our temperatures are slowly starting to dip down into that freezing range. Here, look at those temperatures. We're upper 30s, lower 40s right now, 41 for Miami, Grove, Anderson, as well as Bella Vista right now, but a little further north, we're heading into the mid 30s and eventually getting into that freezing range. So areas that have that wet pavement, make sure you're keeping that in mind if you have that late night commute, because some of that could easily freeze over. Here's your weekend. Will be pretty clear. We'll have cloudy skies heading into Saturday. Temperatures only reaching up to 39 degrees for your high. And then Sunday afternoon will warm up a little bit, but not by much. We'll see a little bit of a break in terms of precipitation before we head into Monday. Now let's really dive into that. Monday, we'll start to see some rainfall. That'll be pretty widespread. That's going to turn from rain to snow eventually as our temperatures start to decrease. Monday night, this is Monday about 10 o'clock. That's going to continue to push off to the east, pushing into Tuesday morning about 7:30. This is what we're going to see about quite a bit of widespread light to moderate. Some places could be heavier bands of snowfall, and that's going to continue into Tuesday afternoon. Into the evening hours will be pretty clear by then, but this is all day Monday and even Tuesday. Now our second round, Friday, something that we're also keeping in mind, looking at right now, rain, same drill, rain transitioning into snow. Our temperatures could cool down a little bit more with this one, so we'll have a cold blast by the time we get to Friday into the weekend. Now, back to Tuesday, here are our weather impacts. We'll see wind, lots of cold temperatures to be suitable enough for snow accumulation and that snowfall. Our ice, pretty much at a low right now, so not much to worry about on that front, but really that snowfall. Now here's that cold blast heading into Friday. Here are the frigid temperatures that we're really tracking. That Arctic air pushing down to the south into the southern plains. That's when we could see some really colder air temperatures, which would be suitable for even more winter weather. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast and even your extended look. We have a possible alert day on Tuesday, so keep that in mind, as well as Friday and Saturday for that next chance of snow.
All right. In the meantime, we made it through this first one.
You did. Yes, round 1 out of 3.
All right. Maybe we'll get a little bit more white stuff on the next one.
Yes, hopefully. Looks
All
like
right.
it.
Yeah. Thanks, Chloe. Well, still ahead, day 2 of the Kaminsky Classic basketball tournament. Carl Junction meets Webb City and Neosho faces Joplin. John Dales has highlights from both of those games and more up next.
West Coast saying hello 2024 and goodbye inventory because we're extending our massive.
Day 2 of the Kaminsky Classic is here. Yesterday afternoon, Webb City began the tournament playing in an instant classic against William Chrisman. The Cardinals came back from 13 down to force overtime, but ultimately lost. Rivalry game in the second round of the Kaminsky Classic. Carl Junction faces Webb City. Early first quarter, Baron Duda steps into a 3 to put the Cardinals up by 3. We'd hear a lot more from him. Still in the first, Bulldogs down by 6. Cooper Vides hits from long range in the quarter. Then second quarter, CJ down 8. Wyatt McAfee follows his own miss and he finishes through the teeth of the defense in traffic. Just before halftime now, it's Duda again hitting the 3 to stretch Webb's lead up to 11. Then foot on the line, doesn't matter though. Step back jumper is pure. He finishes with a game high 30 points. Cards run away with it in the second half. Eli Pace gets the and 1. Webb City beats CJ 65-49. Cardinals play in the 5th place game tomorrow. Second game of the day, Neosho meets Joplin. In this one, the Eagles run out to an early 5-0 lead. Collis Jones adds to it with this bucket in the low post. 10-2, Joplin in front. Final seconds of the first quarter, Brecken Green stretches the lead even further up to double digits as he hits the fadeaway in the lane. The Wildcats couldn't buy a bucket in the early going. We're midway through the second quarter now, and Tyrone Harris hits a 3. That helps. It makes it 14-7. But this game all about the Eagles. Collis Jones again, this time from 3. Joplin's lead back to double digits. Right before the half, check this out. Eagles up 12. First shot doesn't fall, neither does the second. Ball is loose. Here's a third chance for Joplin. No. On the fourth shot of the possession, Hobbs Gooch gets it to fall, plus the foul. Joplin breezes past Neosho 55-33. Eagles will play Webb City tomorrow. Plenty of basketball action tonight in Kansas as well, including a couple CNC teams playing for the first time in the new year. Girard goes on the road to face Columbus. Girls game happening right now. The boys tip off at 7:30. The Trojan boys, currently the top team in their sub-state group. Titans hoping for an upset. Check back in here tonight at 10. We're going to have the highlights from both contests. Over to the NFL, this weekend marks the final week of the regular season. Now, if you've been thinking recently the Chiefs' opponents have seemed a little bit more prepared than them, well, you're not alone. More on that in the Week 18 Minute with Mitch.
I saw the tweet just after the schedule release in May, and I thought, yeah, it's going to be tough, and then I dismissed the thought until now. Warren Sharp, an NFL analyst, wrote, from week 12 of the season through week 17, the Chiefs will have less rest than their opponent for 6 consecutive weeks. I would add that the opposing team in December had more days to prepare as well. The Packers had 10 days, the Bills had 2 weeks, the Patriots had 9 days, the Raiders had 11 days, and the Bengals had 9 days to get ready for the Chiefs. According to Sharp, this hasn't happened in the NFL in 35 years. I get it. All the networks want the hottest teams and the best slots. But the NFL has got to be more diligent to make sure the Chiefs or any team is not scheduled to a disadvantage on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by KOAM Jewelry. Every day's game day, KOAM Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
So yeah, pretty surprising when you put it into perspective like that. Been 35 years since one team has had this many teams that prepared to face them each week. But nevertheless, the Chiefs already clinched the 3 seed in the AFC playoffs, so they're doing something right.
And at least they have, if you want to like flip it and make it glass half full, like they have less time to let the other team get in their head.
True, yeah.
There you go. All right, that's it for sports. We're back after this.
His heroic service during combat, we are proud to salute Joshua Morgan, a 4-state hero.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We'll have more on a local blood bank, hoping National Blood Donor Month will encourage people to give. Plus, we check out a masquerade barrel racing event in Mount Vernon and look at what's driving the comeback of board games across the country. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Well, today, Freeman Health celebrated a lot of nurses, more than 100 in fact. The health provider nominates nurses each month for its Daisy Award. Nurses can be nominated by anyone who experiences or observes extraordinary compassionate care provided by a Freeman nurse, either from a fellow employee or a patient. For the staff at Freeman, the recognition is for a real labor of love.
We just have some great coworkers. I always say they're the reason that I keep coming back. If it wasn't for them, I went through my own health issues, and they were there for me too. They're my other family. They take care of you. They make sure that things are going well. If they're not, they try to step in and help you out. We do that at work too. We have to.
The Daisy Award was created in 1999 by the family of J. Patrick Barnes in his memory to thank nurses who gave him skillful and compassionate care during his 8-week hospitalization. Right?
That's sweet.
I know. It's good to honor the nurses every month. Yeah.
Very much so, yes.
Final check of the forecast?
Yeah, so Monday and Tuesday, something to look out for. We have a possible alert day on Tuesday, and then our next break before we see a chance for snow once again, Friday and even Saturday.
We'll be keeping our eye on that.
Yeah.
We'll be busy this weekend.
Very much.
Right, final sports note?
Another important basketball game in southeast Kansas, 2 of them actually. Fort Scott, the boys and girls of Fort Scott, each undefeated right now, and they each play pretty good Labette County teams tonight.
Oh, that'll be interesting. All right, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.
Live closed captioning on KOAM News is sponsored by Aaron Sachs & Associates, proud partner